History often remembers Cleopatra as a legendary beauty who used her charms to seduce powerful men, but the truth is far more complex and impressive. She was first and foremost a brilliant political strategist, a master of diplomacy, and one of the most educated rulers of her era. Born into the Greek Ptolemaic dynasty, she was the first in her family to learn the Egyptian language, a move of calculated political genius. She spoke 9 languages, including Hebrew and Aramaic, allowing her to negotiate directly with foreign dignitaries without the need for an interpreter. When her brother and co-ruler exiled her, Cleopatra didn't simply wait for a miracle. She raised an army in Syria to reclaim her throne. Recognizing that Rome held the key to her power, she sought an alliance with Julius Caesar, the most powerful man in the Roman Republic. The legendary story of her being smuggled to him in a carpet wasn't about romance. It was a high-risk tactical maneuver to bypass assassins. Caesar was captivated not just by her appearance, but by her intellect and her vision for a joint Romano-Egyptian future. Together they formed a partnership that combined the immense wealth of Egypt with the unstoppable military might of Rome. During her reign, Cleopatra revitalized the Egyptian economy, stabilizing the currency and ensuring the grain trade flourished. She was a hands-on administrator who understood that a full treasury was the only way to maintain her kingdom's independence. Her time in Rome with Caesar allowed her to observe the inner workings of their Senate, learning the weaknesses of her potential rivals. But Caesar's assassination in 44 BC threw her plans into chaos. She had to act quickly to secure her son's future and her own life. Cleopatra returned to Egypt and waited for the Roman civil wars to produce a clear victor she could negotiate with. That man was Mark Antony. Their meeting at Tarsus was a masterclass in psychological warfare and political theater. She arrived as the goddess Isis, surrounding herself with luxury to show Antony that Egypt's resources were vast and indispensable. Mark Antony, a rugged general, was quickly drawn into her sphere of influence, seeing in her the partner he needed to control the East. Their alliance was not just personal. It was a grand design to create a new dynasty that would rival the power of Rome itself. However, this ambition made them the targets of Octavian, Caesar's heir, who launched a massive propaganda campaign against them. Octavian didn't attack her for her politics. He attacked her character, painting her as a foreign temptress who had bewitched Roman men. This Roman narrative is the one that survived, overshadowing the historical reality of Cleopatra as a brilliant sovereign. At the Battle of Actium, the combined forces of Antony and Cleopatra faced Octavian's fleet in a desperate fight for survival. Despite their tactical skills, the tide turned against them. Cleopatra retreated to Alexandria, preparing for the final act of her reign. Even her final moments were calculated. By choosing her own death, she denied Octavian the triumph of parading her through Rome in chains. She died as she had lived, a queen who maintained her dignity and sovereignty until the very end. To understand Cleopatra, we must look past the romanticized myths and the biased Roman accounts. We see a woman who navigated the most dangerous political waters of her time with a level of skill that few rulers could match. She was a patron of the arts, a protector of her people, and a leader who nearly reshaped the entire Mediterranean world. Her intellect was her greatest weapon, and her legacy as a master of statecraft is finally being rediscovered by modern historians. Cleopatra was not just an icon of beauty. She was the intellect behind the throne, a woman who dared to challenge the power of Rome.